Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Shani Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and hello from Blooming Health Farms. Thank you for being with me on this beautiful morning, and welcome to Season 4 of our show. So, I go fast, and I go as fast as these seasons change. And here at Blooming Health Farms, we also follow this concept called the 12-week year so that we can get more done in 3 months than most do in a year. I want to let you in a little bit to my world before I jump into today's show. I am currently commuting from Fort Collins to Greeley, which is about a half an hour drive, and I'm doing that for the next 50 days. I shall elaborate more in the future, but in general, I'm doing this drive because I actually failed to make a commitment, and I'm now honoring a different one. One that I don't really like, but I must do if I want to be the that entrepreneur that I aim to be. And I know on Friday's episode, I just talked about the sun rising, and I'm literally staring into the rising sun as I go from west to east. I really do miss being at the farm before the sun rises. So at the beginning of the show, I mentioned welcome to Season 4, and between the two seasons, or rather over the weekend, I had an opportunity to really take a look at what some of you are looking for, what you want to know, and what are the most popular shows. Now, the most popular show, surprising to me, is actually about meat birds or broilers, which I find that ironic because I lay eggs. Actually, our chickens lay eggs, and I thought that it's best to give you a little bit of what seems to be most interest and of value. Now, early on in Season 1, I did a show about broilers, and that is the most popular episode right now on Thinking Outside the Soil. As of this recording, I've got over 100 episodes, and that's the one that has stood out, and it talks about how to use hydroponic fodder with broilers. So I put the link in the show notes below, and if you'd like to listen to that, please jump into that and come back to this one here. I love that this is the most popular show because I actually got my start in the chicken world with meat birds. I was trying to do new things and met a woman who was interested in raising chickens. So I'm excited to see that this is finally coming back full circle. Since Blooming Health Farms started reselling a premium feed by New Country Organics, I've had a lot of conversations about how to feed flocks and how to save money by buying certain foods. I want to let you know that a lot of people focus on costs. So many people buy feed solely on the price point they see, the sticker price, if you will. And I get that, because at the end of the day, us as producers have to be extremely diligent in controlling our feed costs. However, what I hear a lot is how people will shop around for hours and days to save a few pennies rather than simply investing in something that gives them the results they want. And they spend all that time looking for a good deal. Now, I wonder, what is your time worth to you? And I tell every feed prospect that balks at the cost about our ways of saving feed without compromising on quality. And that inevitably leads to a conversation about hydroponic fodder, right? Surprise, surprise. And it first starts with a conversation about our amazing blend called Chicken Crack sprouting mix. I will tell all the people that I have this amazing blend that's really simple to use, and when incorporated into a daily feeding regimen can save you almost 30% on your feed costs. 30% on your feed costs when you adopt a different feeding regimen. Pretty neat, right? So I am able to sprout for 50 chickens in 8 minutes. And Ethan and Shay, who have more, are able to do that over at Site B in about 30 minutes. Shay has had to do some sprouting recently, and that wasn't her original goal. And she just has jumped in after her husband showed her how. So it's great to see the knowledge transfer so easily. Unlike that game of telephone we may have played when we're kids, where the message gets changed pretty quickly from one person to the next. But before I go a bit more into today's show, I have a small request for you. If you like what you heard, I would love to hear more of your reviews. Please do share what you don't like and share what you do like. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the notification button so you get the latest episode. I want to tell you about a call that I got from a guy who is raising broilers here in northern Colorado. He called me looking for totes of grower feed. So those are those giant big bags of 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of product. It could be seed, it could be feed, and he was interested in looking for a big tote of grower broiler feed. He told me that he prefers the New Country Organics product because there's no corn, there's no soy, and he gets really great results. He was looking to buy it from a local vendor rather than having to deal with the factory. And I think that's really great. So he reached out to me and we were able to begin this conversation of sourcing his feed and getting him on the path. Now, as I've mentioned in other episodes, some of the first things I ask are what kind of bird you got and how many. And he bore in to the broiler metrics, which I'm going to share a bit more with you about feed percentages and sprouting percentages in a future show. I believe that's slated for either the next one or in a couple shows coming up. And when I was speaking to this prospect, I asked him, I said, hey, so what if you could save money on your feed costs and finish your meat birds faster, a week to 2 weeks sooner, if you used a hydroponic fodder feeding regimen? And he said, wait, what? I passed on some of the information and shared those resources that I've been clamoring from the rooftops to you about, and he immediately was like, boom, this is one of the greatest ideas that I've heard of in a long time. This gentleman is also a relatively new farmer, like many of those that we've come across in our world. So we are recognizing that our impact is really in introducing these transformative ideas into individuals who are not ingrained in the old ways. I have created an email mini course for meat birds, for broilers, if you will, so that small scale producers can begin to unpack how to get the best value, control their costs, and get better margins really at the end of the day so they can keep being farmers. So what I have is essentially a 6-day startup sequence and then a follow-up recurring email that helps you keep tabs on this process that's done really simple each and every day that can give you live feed. Now, the email sequence has written instructions and a quick short video to show you how to do it over that week's time. Those regular follow-ups are aimed to help just keep you on point and give you a platform to reach out if you have any pressing questions. The goal is really to help ensure your success. Those who have followed my process and those who are able to really take this under their wing are having wonderful results. We are seeing saving costs 10%, 25%, 30%, and here at Blooming Health Farms, we've actually found a way to get near 50% savings. And I'll share a bit more about that again with you in a future episode, because that is due to our chicken crack sprouting mix. In general, if we had to take an average, we're seeing about 25 to 30% less feed costs with improved egg quality, improved hen health. I meant to say we're talking about broilers. Improved meat quality, finishing faster, and across the board, those that are adopting hydroponic fodder for growing meat birds are seeing significant savings, and those that are reporting back to us are seeing somewhere between 25 and 30% less costs on feed while still incorporating a premium feeding regimen so they can get these really awesome products and get those bigger margins. Now, I recognize we are an egg-laying farm, so I cannot personally say that I have finished meat birds faster. I wish I would have known this back when I started. But others are finishing 1 to 2 weeks faster. And really what that means is that many of these producers are able to get an extra harvest or an extra slaughter per year. Now, what if that could be you? What would that mean for your family, for your community, for your bottom line if you could just get one more harvest or slaughter, because those 1 to 2 weeks cumulatively add up throughout the year. And in many climates, that really is an extra harvest. So I'm going to give a quick nod to my southern listeners. We just talked about the autumn equinox at the end of last season. And so as you go on to get longer daylight, I encourage you to look into adopting a hydroponic feeding regimen for your flock. Get started now. The days are getting even longer, so you now have an opportunity to squeeze in a little bit more time. That is all I have for us today. If you'd like to know more about how hydroponic fodder is helping farmers like yourself, listen into the show on a regular basis, or head on over to thinkingoutsidethesoil.com so you can get my book. Now, as a special gift to those of you that have been tuning in for a while, I like to put links below to the relevant information, and one of those is a sprouting video. So for those of you that are new or don't know what to do, it's a quick, simple way to get your brain moving and get you on this path of becoming the best steward of our land and our animals that you can be. So check out the links below, follow the show, get the book, so you don't miss out on becoming part of this next agricultural revolution. Thank you for being with me again on this beautiful morning. Join us for another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil. Take care and have a lovely day.